Hello. How's it going?
I can't turn it on. Hi, thank you. Welcome to the City Council special meeting of Tuesday, April 17th, 2020, Thursday. It is Thursday, my apologies. Thursday, April 17th, 2025 at 4:01. May I have a pledge of allegiance?
Yeah, ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May I have a roll, please? Roll call.
Councilmember Aranda,
Here.
Councilmember Frios,
Here.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, and Mayor Jordan. Mayor Jordan,
Thank you. I'm working on it. Oh, I said here.
okay.
Sorry, I might have pressed it off here. Thank you. Action items, A, the Great San Juan Bautista Rib Cook-Off, road closure request. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This past Tuesday, the council considered an amendment to the road closure for the Great Rib Cook-Off. The council voted to approve road closure from 5 a.m. on April 25th. And that is just simply not enough time for the event organizers to appropriately set up and also for them to be properly inspected by city staff and also a fire marshal. So I'm here tonight to ask for additional time and for you to reconsider the road closure request. I threw a time on here for the start time to be at 9 p.m. on the 24th, which gives enough time for businesses to close, restaurants to close, and for the event to start setting up at that hour. So anyway, put this back on, asking you to reconsider. If you have any questions, more than happy to answer. Mr. Williams is also here if you have any questions for him.
Thank you very much. Questions, comments, concerns from the council. Councilmember Aranda.
Yeah, I stand by what I said last time at our Tuesday meeting. I do know that there's a lot that goes into this event, especially setup. I've seen it in the past. I think it's been the last four years or since I've been here, that I've seen it be a 3-day event, and they request 4 days, obviously a day prior to set up. I have walked it before. I've seen what goes into it. And also I wanted to mention that you also got to consider that, Jason's barbecue or staff, whatever you want to call them, these people that fly out from other states, also need to prepare, get ready, but then they also need time to set up their barbecue grills and get that going. And, obviously you guys know how long it takes to cook ribs and whatnot. So I want everyone to know, just, be considerate of that. I still stand by what I said. If I was going to make an amendment, it would be, 7 or 8 o'clock, just to give him the time that he needs, so that they can get set up and they can start their barbecue grills. And just for the public's sake, I know, thanks to our city manager, I believe it looks like we're moving the trash can pickup to an alternate day, so that they can so that the residents there aren't inconvenienced. So I think that's really great. Just considering again where we stand with how things are in this town and how things are are kind of dying. I would love to see Jason stay and come. And so if he needs that day, I asked the rest of our city council to please really reconsider this, as it really does affect him. And I would hate to see Jason not come back to our city to do these events. One of the biggest things that we face here is we do make it challenging sometimes for outside vendors to come in and host their events here. So I would like to see us be a little more better at making it easier for them. So that's all. That's my 2 cents. But thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Freels.
Yeah, a couple questions. So Public Works will set up the barricades at 9, so the streets will be closed at 9 o'clock. Is that what you're recommending? Well, if we go 9 o'clock.
The Public Works will close the roads at any time you deem. I put 9 PM just as a kind of sort of a middle ground between based off of what we talked about on Tuesday. But it really, whatever time the council deems is when we'll arrange for Public Works to do their job.
Okay, and then how do we bill / get reimbursed for their overtime? For the time that they're putting those out?
So the Public Works team will make that calculation and we'll work with our front desk team to bill Mr. Williams for the time.
Okay. So we do get reimbursed, and we have in the past?
Yes, I do have a list here and we do account for Public Works staff hours.
Okay.
On the invoice.
Okay. That's all I need. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Yes, thank you. I've been reviewing the packet and I have some questions about it. I know the issue at hand is.
Can you please pull the microphone closer?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Okay, so the issue at hand is to extend, because we did deny the 4th day for setup. And so now I know the issue is to allow the 4th day for setup. But I had questions on the packet. It's incomplete. If you look at the second page where it says cover page, it looks like Mr. Williams or an assistant filled it out in longhand written. But if you look at the notifications, it's all blank, but I'm assuming that is contingent on when someone comes through the event setup with Fire Public Works. Is that correct? Sorry, second page of his application.
It's the checklist for planning, fire, public works, city
Yeah.
manager,
Yeah,
police, environmental
yes.
health, and integrated waste.
So when will we know if it's been approved?
Typically, the associate planner is responsible she guides this process.
Okay,
And so she holds meetings with the city team and she follows up with all the appropriate departments and gets that part signed off. And then usually about 48 hours before the event,
Mhm.
Mr. Williams will receive his permit.
Okay. And then also the next section below that, which I think he probably or the applicant can fill out, key issues for your reference, and I see that it's all blank. So I would think that there's quite a few that need to be checked off. Number 1, amplified sound, item sales, tent, trash recycling, cooking is probably a main thing that's blank, parking, animals if he has the ponies again, sanitation, porta potty, first aid security plan, item sales, generator, street closure, electrical. So all of that's blank, and that concerns me why this application is not complete, at least on the part that he could do. And then if we go.
Yeah,
to-
I'm not, I
Yeah.
apologize for interrupting.
Sorry,
I-
hey, Jason, can you please hang on for a second?
Yeah, by all means.
Thanks.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go through each page. So same thing on probably page 4 at the top of the page, just for completeness. Event setup, there's no date or time. Event ends, no date or time. Event starts, so that needs to also be complete. And then as far as the Rotary Beer Garden, and I think that's great that the pony rides are coming back. I think anything that makes it a family affair. I like that idea. Thank you, Mr. Williams. The Rotary Beer Garden, so are they going to have, so he marked that down, but did they also apply for a separate permit and an alcohol permit? Do we have that on hand?
Yes, they have to apply for that separately and we will be receiving
Okay.
copies of all that information.
Okay, and then as far as that, is it a contained area where people are only allowed to drink in the contained area?
Yes, they have to abide by whatever the state guidelines are and whatever our rules are.
Okay, so it's like a garden, so it means it's enclosed and only people that can go there are 21 years and older, correct? Okay.
Correct.
And then something says in the process, that environmental health permit. So I'm assuming that we'll get some finalization on that after inspection.
Yes,
Okay.
this is especially why they need the additional hours
Okay.
to set up.
Okay, and it looks like in regards to lighting and sound, they used to plug into our light poles, but now it looks like Mr. Williams and the vendors are bringing in some generators. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then the Recology, that's a separate contract between them and Mr. Williams. Okay, and then it says enclosed supplemental questions. What's the enclosed attachment? Is there something enclosed?
Yeah, we have a timeline
Okay.
that outlines the dates when everything will occur and what
Okay.
they need.
Okay. And then the thing too is that will you be getting, or the city be getting a map of, because it does require that a map, he provides a map in the event promoter provides a map of location of each of their booths. Was that?
Yeah, I
submitted?
sent that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's not in our packet tonight. No?
So that's something that the fire department deals with. They turn it into the fire department. The fire department checks everything off to, with the map and the promoter for every event and goes through site by site.
Okay. One thing I'm going to ask, and I don't know if this is applicable or even possible, but to courtesy of our downtown businesses, it would be nice if they had, maybe not with all the details, but have a list of what's going to be in front of their shops. And I think that we really need to adhere to the fact that we need access to their entrances, so they're still open for those that are choosing to be open. Need to have clear pathways to their businesses, no obstruction, no safety code violations. And basically, I think that would be nice as a courtesy to include what's going to be, just a general idea of what's going to be on Third Street, close to their shops. And then the last question I have or comment is about page 7. That's all about the fees.
Yep, I sent a check with the application.
Okay, so, but for my end, sir, the application, all the items, the line items are blank. And so for me, this is a meeting that it would be interesting to find out, or important to find out what our fees are.
Sure, I can tell you what last year's fees were.
Okay.
Because
Are they
this
going-
was the initial application submittal, those
Uh-huh.
things weren't necessarily available on the application, but I
Right.
can tell you what last year's fees looked like.
Okay.
And this is just from the city perspective. This doesn't account for our partnering agencies, right?
Right.
So from a city perspective, we charged $5,136.98. We charged for A-frame barricades, type 3 barricades, no parking signs. There is a fee for vendors for about 106 vendors at $15 a day times 2. That was about $3,800 that we charged. We charged for public works staff hours and a 15% admin charge.
Okay, and what is the general application fee? I thought I saw somewhere it was $800 for the event. And that was based on the
Yeah,
head count of an estimate of 10,000 or 1,000 or more. I think I saw that.
I'd have to look at our
It
At
was
our
in
fee
it
schedule.
was online. I didn't copy it. I just,
Yeah,
anyone
that's
else
in
do
our-
that?
It's in our
Yeah,
fee
so
schedule.
my comment to that is it's way too low. we know that the 4-day event, 3-day event is going to draw in a lot of people. $800 is peanuts. $15 a day per booth is peanuts. I think people probably pay more to have a yard sale here. I think we really need to rework this. We need to debrief before next year on a lot of issues. I'm willing to go ahead and go ahead with the 4th day. I like the 9 p.m. start time. Because Mr. Williams has already made arrangements with his vendors. It looks like there was maybe some issues with the application or the dates. I don't know what, but it's a done deal. People have made their plans. I think we need to honor that. But I also think, like we said at the meeting, I said at the meeting and others, we need to also think about our local vendors and to come in and set up at 5 on Thursday. That interferes with businesses that are still open. And also, if we say 5, sometimes, human nature is we'll get there at 3. And that creates, I think, stress and an imposition on the downtown businesses. But I would like a debriefing, maybe 60 days, 90 days after the event. And I really think we would need to reevaluate our fees. Thank you.
Understood. We can report out on the event in about 60 days. And I'll just note for the record that we are in the process of getting a fee study done. And so we'll note that for the consultant to take a look at our special event permit fees.
And that's for fees all across the board. Everything, every fee that we have is being reevaluated. Thank you. Public comment. Public comment on items only on the agenda. Thank you very much. Hi, Michael,
Hi,
welcome.
Michael Ponce. No, I had just one comment, a suggestion again. And it might pertain to Public Safety Coordinator Roy. I noticed during the event, walking it myself, where all the main booths are in front of Daisy's. It's really hard to get down the street because people line up for the booth, from the booth to the sidewalk in front of Daisy's. If maybe we can have
To the microphone.
maybe if we can have the customers line up parallel to the booth so people could walk straight through. I noticed on supplemental questions, number 3, it says the line, or let me see, we were out here. It says that they're gonna keep the streets clear and the sidewalks clear. So when the people line up from the booth to the sidewalk, people can't get through. So then they all converge onto the sidewalk and you can't get through. So it's just real hard to get moving. And, I don't know, it possibly could be a safety issue if people are all blocking that area and people need to get out real quick. It could be a problem. That's just my suggestion.
Thank you very much. Jason, hi, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I just, hi, do you have any questions, comments?
No, I just appreciate you guys. I didn't mean to drag everybody in today. I appreciate your time, and we just needed a little more time to be ready for Charlie and health inspections and all that sort of thing. It was just getting a little too tight for some of the booths that we have coming in. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to look at it again.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Back to the council. Anybody? Any more? Nope.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got, on events this size, it'd be helpful if the applicant would show up at the meetings when we request this, when we have the, send. But it'd be nice. That way we could ask some questions.
Yeah, we
Those
could have.
would been answered the other night.
Yeah.
And then, another thing,
Sure.
Our city manager's team found, that Recology was way overcharging and they weren't supposed to be charging at all. Is that correct? According to franchise agreement?
Franchise agreement.
So fortunately, Mr. Williams won't be charged. I know that was a big deal for a while that because they wanted to charge through the roof.
And just to clarify, we they were overcharging. And per our franchise agreement, they're obligated to provide a certain number of receptacles. So the agreement is that they need to follow the franchise agreement. They do charge Mr. Williams for additional dumpsters and other major items that he needs to ensure that the streets are properly cleaned and taken care of. And we've talked many times about the process and how to make it better. And so we do have a plan in place for cleanup.
Perfect. That's wonderful. We found, I guess, did our city attorney find that? Was that John?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, John, for finding that, because I don't know.
You're
Think-
welcome.
I think some people need to be reimbursed, especially some of our nonprofits and the car clubs and stuff. And then just to reiterate, downtown was left a mess. And I just can't, we can't tolerate that anymore. And it's disrespectful to our merchants, it's disrespectful to all of our residents. It's disrespectful to the people who came before us that built this town. And we have one of the oldest state parks, and the section along the wall at the state park from the sidewalk where those little rocks are to the wall, that's state park property. And that was trashed. That can't happen again. Not in my opinion, it can't happen again. So I'm okay with this 9 o'clock closure. Thank you for working with Recology. Folks can get their trash out. Let's just go ahead and move forward then. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm all for the closure to get this party started. Jason, I appreciate everything that you do, bringing in the hordes of people that you do. And hopefully they come back at a later date.
Thank you for saying that.
And your map is on the back. We have it.
We have it.
Okay,
Thank you.
So yeah, appreciate both events, opening up our city in the springtime. And I have nothing else. Thank you. Okay, may I have a motion to approve a resolution authorizing staff to close Third Street from Franklin to McCullamy from 9 p.m. Thursday, April 24th, 2025 through 9 p.m. on Sunday, April 27th. The closure will also include cross streets between 2nd and 4th, specifically Washington, Mariposa, and Polk.
So moved.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Friel, seconded by Councilmember Aranda. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios.
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Yes.
And Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jason.
no, thank you guys. I appreciate your time. Hopefully you can
Oh,
hear me. Sorry. I'm not great at
well,
Zoom. I apologize.
You're good. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.
Seconds.
Motion made by Councilmember Friel, seconded by Councilmember Morris Lopez. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios.
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez
Yes.
and Mayor Jordan.
Yes, 424. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon.